First off, thank you very much for the talk. I have a question. It's both general and somewhat directed at myself. As someone who's struggled with the faith, with the courage, with the zeal, and someone who's apostatized numerous times and kind of recently come back, what ought one do in order to keep that spirit alive? Because as you said, there's a lot of people who have that courage in certain circumstances and in others falter and flail. What should one do to keep it for the rest of their lives and to be a strong, courageous Christian?
It's a wonderful question. So much of our zeal fades out because sorry, I'm talking to this arm here. So much of our zeal fades out because we incorporate our faith into a bigger reality. We have life and we drop faith into it. And the moment we drop it in, it's like dropping a bit of dye into boiling water. For a moment, it's brilliant colored right where you put it in, but then very quickly it spreads out and gets diluted and the color seems to disappear or become much less visible. It's like that when we are trying in every moment to live the whole of our life, right? I'm not really here right now. 10% of me is here. 20% of me is thinking about tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and 10 years down the road and retirement and grandchildren or whatever. And 60 or 70% of me can't stop thinking about yesterday and all the ways that someone upset me and the ways I failed. You say you had struggles, they're like chains that we keep holding on to. And the result is that right now, a tiny sliver of me is here. Right? It's impossible to maintain a lot of zeal when you're not really there. So the more that we can focus our Christianity on the singular experience of this moment right now, it retains its potency minute by minute, moment by moment. When you walked into this room, what were you thinking? Right? Okay, something might happen, might get a book, might hear something from a bishop, free snacks, right? All true things. But this might be the last moment you ever experience, right? There might not be anything else. I might die of a heart attack mid-sentence. The world might end. I have no idea. But I'm alive right now. I'm surrounded by images of the living God right now. I have the choice right now to perceive and to understand that God is here and that even this moment can be an opportunity to grow closer to Him. This question that you asked me, my fumbling attempt to answer it, this can be a chance to grow closer to Him. This moment right now might be the pinnacle moment of my whole spiritual life. And if you start to think like that, always like that every encounter that you have is potentially the ultimate and final moment of your spiritual life. That every person that you meet and talk to, that might be the person, that might be the conversation that sees you into the kingdom of God. When you start to see the world like this, it's like your heart is perpetually kindled with fire because there's no time, there's no moment to let the flame go out. This is the only moment. You have to keep it burning. And it does burn with God's presence. But you have to condition yourself to that. You can't just decide tonight, that's what I'm going to do from now on. Because you'll forget about it 5 minutes after you leave from here. You have to constantly remind yourself and diligently exercise yourself in living like that, which is what fasting is about, which is what Lent is about, which is what all the ascetical practices of the church are about. When we get up in the morning, the first thing that we do is make the sign of the cross. Not because there's some magical mantra that says AM cross, PM cross, bed, right? But because by doing that, it's one way to immediately bring it's the very first thing that we do when our eyes open, we make the sign of the cross. so that you're immediately drawing yourself into the present. This moment, right here in my bed, a cat on my feet, the alarm going off next to me, this moment, God is here. And if you can start to exercise yourself in all of these things, then your perception starts to change and you start to sense that reality all the time.